Hello, my name is George Coles and this presentation is entitled The Top 3 Mistakes to Avoid as a Drama Teacher. Now, the first mistake I've encountered is planning lessons with an ill-defined learning aim. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I often see questions on social media from teachers such as, I want to do a lesson on war, does anyone have any ideas? Or perhaps, does anyone have a scheme of work on bullying? Now, these questions are absolutely fine, but the problem is that they don't reveal anything about what the student should be learning within the lesson. And so it's always good to start with the question, what do I want my students to learn? And I think dramatic learning in a lesson should always be our priority. Now, clearly, students learn so much in drama lessons. They develop social skills, they learn about aspects of life, PSHCE, but our drama learning should always be the top priority. And it's also important that our students understand the difference between what they're doing and what they're learning. So maybe in the lesson they're doing hot seating, but are the students supposed to be learning about hot seating? Is that the point of the lesson? Is it to teach about the strategy, the rehearsal strategy of hot seating? Or are we just using hot seating as a way to kind of learn about the character of Eric in an Inspector Calls? Maybe it's both of those things, but we need to be really specific about what the students should be learning. And when we think about students starting us and meeting us at the beginning of the lesson and then leaving us at the end of the lesson, what do they know at the end of the lesson that they didn't know at the beginning? So it's always really good to help us be so specific there. The next common mistake, I think, is setting practical tasks for the sake of it. Now, drama is often described as a practical subject, and if you think about it, creating and performing drama is practical, design is practical, but actually sometimes practical work doesn't serve the purpose of the lesson, so we must always consider what we want to achieve within a lesson. And we shouldn't feel guilty for teaching in a more traditional way and just talking to the students, because we're the experts, we know what we're talking about. When I was a younger teacher, I was often told to only talk for 1 or 2 minutes in a lesson so students could then go and work straight away. But actually, sometimes we need to talk. And I think there's this idea that talking and teaching from the front is boring. It's just a kind of form of lecturing. But actually, it's very engaging if we're asking questions and responding to questions, and it can be a very interactive way of teaching. And that thing about engagement is important because the tasks that we set for our students shouldn't be there just to engage them, because our subject is engaging itself. So don't feel like you need to do kind of exciting tasks to try and engage students, because actually the content of our lessons, the content of drama, is engagement in itself. I think also if we're getting our students to work sort of independently all the time and getting them to work collaboratively, there's the potential that they may misunderstand things and they may embed misconception. So when we teach from the front, particularly if we're teaching something quite challenging, it's kind of a more powerful way for students to understand what they need to. Now, the final point is, I think, putting too much effort into tasks that don't benefit student learning. And we always need to consider the effort to impact ratio. How much effort are we putting into our work, and what's going to be the impact, what's going to be the learning return in the classroom? So the first one is resources, and I put here, they don't need to look pretty. Now, I quite like my resources to look attractive, as hopefully you can see from this presentation, but it shouldn't take too much time. And in the same way, we need to think, actually, does this resource need to look brilliant, or can it just be quite functional? So think about how much time is this resource going to be used and how much effort am I putting into creating it? And the next one is marking. When I first started teaching, let's say I'm marking some GCSE books, I would spend ages writing individual comments on every single book, but actually it's rarely effective. Students, by and large, are the same, they make the same mistakes, and so it's far more powerful to do whole class feedback in a way that's going to kind of hit everyone in the class. And finally, differentiation. I used to think differentiation was about setting lots of different activities and lots of different tasks for all the different learners in my classes. But actually, it's best to have really high expectations for all and then provide varying levels of support for different students. And this actually gets the best out of all students. So to summarise, my top tips are to plan lessons with a clearly defined learning aim, to recognise the limitations of practical work, and to consider the effort to impact ratio in everything you do.